Welcome to Jesuswomen
and our social media family.
Hello to everyone. Hugs and kisses from Jesuswomen to you. Today, we are taking a family tour
on the duck boat ride.
And we're going to be going on the ocean water. And so,
I don't know if it's the ocean, it might just be the water.
It's in the ocean.
Is ocean water the same thing?
Yeah, we're going in the ocean water.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going on a boat ride. It's so beautiful here. Like, just giving you guys a visual of where we are. And in the background, you see my son back there. He's rapping. And right here,
Make sure you don't get the music.
Yep, right here's my beautiful daughter. Of course, everyone knows. And it's just beautiful all around. Giving you guys a little tour. It's so beautiful out here. So I hope everyone is having an absolutely wonderful day thus far in Jesus' name. And it's going to be interesante. So we're about to head out and go and get on our ride so we can head out to the boat. I'm sending out hugs and kisses from Jesuswomen to you. Talk to you all soon. Hasta la próxima. Hello guys, we're about to have a boat tour and I am so excited. So I'll be taking little videos of our tour and we love you guys so much. We hope everyone is having an awesome day so far in Jesus' name.
This river is very windy.
How does
The marathon is 26.2 miles. The river is 80 miles.
Charles River right
The
now.
rest is Boston Harbor.
How does it feel?
Boston Harbor is the location of the most important events
Are you
leading up to the
nervous?
American Revolution.
Yeah, I don't
The
like
Boston
big bodies
Tea
of
Party.
water, so yeah.
December 16, 1773. A group of colonists known as the Sons of Liberty. They got out of Boston Harbor. They board 3 ships: the Beaver, the Eleanor, the Dartmouth. They take all the tea and they rode in Boston Harbor until they made attacks on it. This leads to Boston being put under martial law. The port is closed and it will remain closed until the colonists they succeed they destroy it. But you know what? They never did. Instead, they started the American Revolution. Let's give these people back as we go by. Ready? Architecture he invented. It's named after him. It's called Richardsonian Romanesque architecture. And Richardsonian Romanesque architecture is important because it is considered to be the first distinctly American style of architecture. For Henry Hobson Richardson, American architects were just copying what they were doing in Europe. The events of this style really catches on in the United States. Coming up on our left, we're going to go by another one of my favorite old buildings in the city of Boston. Beautiful old red brick and stone building, elegant arched windows on the first floor. Just a great example of 19th century architecture. Okay, this building is Restoration Hardware, the chandelier store. Now, this was not always a fancy chandelier store. Look at this place. Looks like it could have been a museum. And that is because that is what it originally was. It was Boston's Museum of Natural History. Restaurants in Boston. It's called Parish Cafe.
Where's the parish?
What makes Parish Cafe so cool, besides this big green umbrella? Every sandwich on the menu was created by a different chef in Boston. And all the best chefs in the city get sandwiches on the menu at Parish Cafe. I have yet to get the Wolfgang Duck Boston Duck Tour sandwich on the menu. They keep telling me freedom, fun, and first are abstract concepts that can't be put to sweet bread. On our left is the Arlington... No, that's not where this is. On our left is the oldest public botanical garden in the United States, the Boston Public Garden. It's been here since 1837. It's a very beautiful park. In the center of the public garden, there's some water. It's called the Public Garden Lagoon. Out on the lagoon, we can see the swan boats. Now the swan boats, if you can't tell, are pedal boats. You sit at the front on one of the benches, and then the employee sits in the swan, and they pedal you around the park at a speed of 2 miles per hour. They're not very fast. We are going to go at least twice that fast when we go on the Charles River. Y'all know that, right? We're on the river. Just gotta check. Sometimes people walk by, they're like, that's cool. The pro shop in the TD Garden is open 7 days a week. So go get yourself a new hat or a jersey. And we are going by the TD Garden. We're just not seeing the main entrance. But on our right, something almost as cool. The loading docks. And there's the back of the building above the trains, the TD Garden. On our right, we're going to see the Leonard C. Steakhouse Bunker Hill Memorial Bridge. This is the widest speedway bridge in the United States. That bridge is 10 highway lanes wide, and is considered to be the crown jewel of the Central Artery Tunnel Project, or what we refer to in Boston as the Big Dig. What was the Big Dig? Well, there used to be this highway that was in downtown Boston, the Central Artery Expressway. It's an elevated highway. Wasn't very express. Caused traffic jam. A tunnel underneath the city of Boston. Built a new highway underground. Also built a new tunnel to the airport, the Ted Williams Tunnel, named for Red Sox legend Ted Williams. And finally, they built the Leonard Zachem Bridge. And that's what there's still plenty of traffic in Boston. But we are no longer number one in bad traffic. We've improved. Good job. That being said, this is the part of the tour where we have kids come up and drive the duck. Do we have any kids who want to drive? We're ready to use your hands. Can't call you up. We don't have your hands raised. Here's what we do. I'm going to call people one at a time. One at a time. When I call you up, I want you to bring a phone with you. That way I can take your picture while you're up here. If you do not have a phone because you are a kid, grab one from an adult. Preferably the adult who brought you here. Alright, who wants to drive? Raise your hands, raise them high so I can see it. Alright, we'll go with the black jacket. You had your hand up first, come on up. Bring a phone with you. Alright, and what's your over? You sit in the chair. You grab the steering wheel. That's it. That's all there is to it. You nailed it. You're natural. On the left side of the river is the city of Boston. That is where we've been driving around today. On the right side of the river is Cambridge, Massachusetts. Cambridge, Massachusetts is a different city from Boston. You know, it's on the exact same year, 1630. And it's founded by the Puritans, just like Boston. So back in 1630, the Puritans didn't call their new town Cambridge. They called it Newtown. The town, it was new. The Puritans weren't very good at anything. Alright, look at me. Big smile. There we go. Reach up, smile. And we're down to the duck. You get stickers. There you go. Great job. Oh, haven't you got stickers to drive? I just subscribe. Raise your hands. Raise them high so I can see you. Okay, the Red Sox shirt. Come on up. Bring them on with you. Okay, what's your name? Great job. Stickers. That's for you. I hope subscribe. Raise your hands. Check the blue shirts. Come on up.
River.
Bring them on with you. Alright, come on up. Alright, and what's your name? The poet Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. I'm going to tell you about him in a minute. But as you go underneath the bridge, look to the left, look at the top of the bridge. Look at the towers up there. The towers look like the bridge was built in 1906, but look at this thing. It looks practically brand new. That's because it was rebuilt between 2013 and 2018 at a cost of $300 million. They rebuilt from the water up piece by piece to restore it to its original condition. Alright, look at me, big smile. Going through the bridge. Very nice. Great job. Phone. Stickers. There you go. That's for you. Alright, let's drive. Kids don't want to drive, I will call adults. On the right is the campus of MIT, the Massachusetts Technology. What's your name? Micah, Daisy Micah. That's a great neighborhood to check out a concert, or a play, or an opera, or even a comedy show. And right down the street here on our left is Nick's Comedy Stop, the oldest comedy club in Boston. It's been there for over 30 years, for all the greats of Boston comedy got their start. They open every Friday and Saturday night. So if you ever find yourself in Boston on Friday or Saturday, oh, it is Friday. So you're looking for something to do tonight in a couple hours, why not check out the comedy show at Nick's Comedy Stop? You'll go for the comedy. which will stay for the service. They have the best waitress in the city there. Her name's Katie. She's a Speedo lady. She's worked there for 25 years. Best waitress you ever have. Get your drink super quick, very friendly. I heard her son was a pretty good tour guide. And we were back in the neighborhood the tour began, and this neighborhood is called the Back Bay. Because remember at the beginning of the tour, it said this all used to be the Charles River up until the 1800s. Well, when it was, it formed a bay on the backside of Boston. Now, they filled in the Back Bay in the 1800s, and it wasn't just to create the land to build this beautiful neighborhood. That was a nice benefit of it, but it was not the main reason. By the mid-1800s, the Back Bay has become so polluted, it's basically an open sewer. Makes the whole city smell bad, and it is a health hazard. Rather than trying to clean out the Back Bay, the city of Boston's like, you know what? Let's fill it in. That's exactly what they do in a process that will take over 40 years. On the left is the Boston Park Plaza Hotel, one of Boston's historic hotels. And when the Statler Hotel opened, it was the first hotel anywhere in the world to have a radio in every single room. Like candlelight. Something old-timey. Push a big wooden hoop with a stick. To make sure everyone had something to listen to on the radio in their hotel room, the Statler had their very own radio station where they broadcast nothing but updates about the hotel. Seems like an odd choice. On the right, we're gonna go by a restaurant. It's called Fire and Ice. Fire and Ice. That'll be my first day cooking school. Fire and Ice, interesting concept for a restaurant. It is like an all-you-can-eat buffet, except all the food is raw. So before you can eat it, you gotta bring it to a big grill in the center of the restaurant. There's a cook there, they take it from you, they cook it for you right in front of your face. That's the fire part. The ice part, well, they got ice cold drinks. And for dessert, you can get ice cream. Now last year, I did about 700 Boston Duck tours. And every time I went by Fire and Ice, I told people it was all you can eat ice cream. Went there in the winter. It's not. I mean, like, technically you could keep ordering ice cream. They will keep bringing it to you. So it's going to be all you can pay ice cream. Learned that one the hard way. Up ahead on the right, we're going to go back by Trinity Church, which we saw at the very beginning of the tour. Again, this is one of the 10 most significant pieces of architecture in the United States, according to the American Institute of Architects. Across the street from the church is 200 Clarendon Street, the tallest building in Boston, pointed down a river, 790 feet tall, 10,000 reflective windows. The architect, Henry N. Cobb, he felt very honored he was getting to build a skyscraper right across from Trinity Church. So he designed the building with over 10,000 reflective windows to reflect the beauty of the neighborhood back at itself. Now when they built the building, the engineers made some miscalculation, and the dog. Her name was Katie Copley. She was a black lab, and she lived in the hotel her entire dog life. 16 years, pretty good run for a dog. Now, the duck we've been running around on today is also named Katie Copley, named after the dog. Their current hospitality dog is Corey Copley. You can see her doghouse right up front behind the line. And you don't even have to stay at the hotel to say hello to her. You can just walk in the lobby. If she's available, give her a pet. Nice dog. Up ahead on our right, we got the main branch of the Boston Public Library. Their motto is free to all. If you're ever looking for a fun, free thing to do while you're in Boston, you can always check out the Boston Public Library. You don't need a library card to go, and that's a lot of books to read in 2 weeks. And the library is only a 5-minute walk from where the tour began. Speaking of which, we are almost back at the Prudential Center, everyone. Now would be a good time to take a moment, look around, make sure everything you came on board with. Jackets, bags, cameras, phones, wallets, hats, and children. Do not leave your children behind. If you do, they will be given jobs in the ticket booth. Once we come to a complete stop, please remain seated till Will and myself have exited up. We gotta be the first 2 people off for safety reasons. I will be at the bottom of the stairs. Make sure you all get off safely. I'll also be at the bottom of the stairs. Say goodbye. Answer any more questions you might have. Your question is, where's the nearest bathroom? Right across the street in the lobby of the Marriott. If anybody wants to take pictures, I will gladly pose for pictures in front of the duck. We'll take selfies. In the 1700s, during the American Revolution, it's where the British Army camped out. And in 1965, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. gave a speech on Boston Common. That's why there's a monument to him here. Now, Martin Luther King didn't just come to Boston one time. He lived here for a while. He went to Boston University. That's where he got his PhD. And where he met his wife. And the monument to him, the embrace, is based on the photograph of him and his wife hugging each other. Oh, order up! Quack, quack. It's not based on the photograph of him and his wife. Quack, quack. It's based on a photograph of him and his wife hugging each other or embracing right after he won the Nobel Peace Prize. Pretty cool. On the right is another new addition to the park. It's the Boston Common Beer Garden. People drinking beer in the park. You're with us. Proud enough to hear it. Boston has a really great local craft beer scene right now. That is your thing. Let me know. I can definitely give you recommendations of breweries to check out. The buildings on either side of the street here, they belong to Emerson College, another one of the many colleges here in Boston. Emerson's motto is, the city is our campus. Which is a very nice way of saying, we don't have a campus. We're a church in the United States. On the right, we are going to go by the Granary Burial Ground. This is where 3 signers of the Declaration of Independence are buried. Robert Creek Payne, John Hancock, and Samuel Adams. Now, of course, you can always go across the street to the Beantown Pub, the only bar in the world where you can sit down and order yourself a cold Sam Adams while you stare at a cold Sam Adams. I'm literally the first Boston tour guide to ever take a sandwich. Everybody says it. It says on 3 signs in front of the bar. But I say it's the best. Other important people buried here. All 5 victims of the Boston Massacre are buried here. Paul Revere is buried here. And a guy named James Otis is buried there. He said taxation without representation is tyranny. On the right, we got the Park Street Church, built in 1809. At the time of its completion, this was the tallest building in the United States, at just over 200 feet tall. Inside the church is where William Lloyd Garrison, the great abolitionist, gave his first in over 300 years. Today, it is a museum. Originally built to be the site of British government in the colony of Massachusetts, it was known as the Town House. After the American Revolution, the Town House was used as the Massachusetts State House for a few years. Then it was Boston City Hall. Then it was a market. Now it is a museum.
Oh, it's down.
From the balcony of the old State House is where the Declaration of Independence was read for the first time in the city of Boston. 2 weeks after they signed it down to British soldiers' muskets. The gun goes off. The British soldiers panic and they open fire into the crowd, killing 5 people, including Crispus Attucks. British soldiers are arrested, put on trial for murder. One of the lawyers defends them is a guy named John Adams, the same John Adams who wanted to be the 2nd president of the United States. Now, John Adams is a patriot. He does not like the British soldiers, but he chooses to defend them so they can get a fair trial. And he does more than he gets a fair trial. He gets them found not guilty of murder, but he gets them found not guilty of murder by reason of self-defense, and they're set free. But that doesn't stop his cousin, Samuel Adams, from calling it a bloody massacre. And it's used as a propaganda tool to get the other colonies on the side of revolution. Now in England, at the time, they did not refer to it as a massacre. They called it the unfortunate incident on King Street, which is the most British way of saying that. On a much later note, coming up on our right, we're gonna go by the big gold tea kettle. People love the big gold tea kettle. Today next in front of Starbucks, but that thing dates back to the 1870s, lives in front of a tea shop here in Boston. What is known as a pictograph, a visual representation of what is for sale in the store that hangs in front. Coming up on our left, we're going to go by the oldest European burying ground in the city of Boston, the King's Chapel Burying Ground. This is where many of the original Puritan settlers of Boston are buried, including their first colonial governor, John Winthrop. Other people of note in the King's Chapel Burying Ground, William Dawes. He was another midnight rider like Paul Revere. You never heard of him because Henry Longfellow didn't write poems about him. And Charles Bullfinch, the guy who designed the Massachusetts State House, he's buried in there. Next, the King's Chapel Burying Ground is, you guessed it, the King's Chapel. After that, on our left, we're going by the Omni Parker House Hotel, the oldest continually operated hotel in the United States. It's been open since 1855, and it is the birthplace of trash floating on the surface. Making the water safe for the birds, safe for the fish, and safe for the turtles. Charles River Cleanup Boat is sponsored in part by Boston Duck Tours. Part of our Whack Whack Get Back program. Where we take the check. Hey, look, there's some ducks over on the right. You now say you saw ducks on the duck tour. Going whale watch for ducks. Where we take the charitable donations of our guests, we match them and we donate them to worthy local causes. We like to focus on three things: clean water, human Charles River Cleanup Boat, education, human community voting, and veterans causes, because we have a military tradition here at Boston Duck Tours. What we are riding around on right now is a replica of a World War II era vehicle called a UKW. Troops call them ducks, so that's what we call them. If you look over the canopy of the duck, you know there are signatures up there. Those are the signatures of veterans, active members of the military, and probably a few people who won the Super Bowl. We got any veterans or active members of the United States military on board. If you would like to sign the duck, let me know at the other door. I'll get you a marker. You can write your name up there if you'd like. DUKW is a code name for this type of vehicle during World War II. First letter of the code is for the year it was designed. It was designed in 1942, fourth year of the war. D is the fourth of the alphabet, D for 1942. U is for utility vehicle. K is symbol for front wheel drive, which will just activate our front wheel transmitted to pull us out of the river. And W is for dual rear axle. When you think about it, the letter W looks like two back wheels up, and that is where DUKW comes from. On the right, we're getting a fantastic view of the Leonard Jacob Bridge. From here, it looks like a sailboat on the water. Very beautiful. Great spot to grab a picture of it if you haven't already. And we are coming out of the river, which is the most difficult part of the tour for the driver. Well, not Will, he's a pro. He nails it every time. Why is it so tricky normally? Well, we're going to turn as we go underneath this bridge. This is not a wide opening to make a turn. But then we got to turn back the other way. If we kept turning, we'd go straight to those rocks. That would do that. Now you got to get nice and even with the ramp so that our front wheels are straight. We need the... If you don't know what softball is for some reason, the best way to describe it, it's like baseball, but for drunk adults. That's for my softball he plays. You're talking right now? Softball champion. Alright, let's get me Big Mom. There we go. Great job, Mom. You're on stickers. Anybody else got time for one? Okay, alright, finally. Alright, bring us on with you. Alright, and what's your name? Elliot, take it Elliot. Now, we've been in the water for a while now. We got you to look down at the water. Does the water look clean, everyone? No, it's very murky. That is not actually for pollution. That is the natural color of the Charles River. Now, this river used to be very, very polluted. Back in the 1960s, it was so dirty. How dirty was it? It was so dirty that a band called the Sandels wrote a song about the Charles River called Dirty Water. Love that dirty water. Foster my home. Yeah. Alright, let's be Elliot. Big Mom. There we go. Great jump. Phone. Stickers. There. That's you. Great job. All right. But I really like teaching kids, and they don't turn any child away. So kids can learn to sail at community boating for as little as $1 a summer. The sliding scale based on their family's income. Very cool non-profit community boating. Of course, if you ask me, I'm trusting any organization that lets kids drive boats on this river. Alright, give me big front. There we go. Great jump. Boat. Stickers. There we go. Anybody else want to drive? Got time for a few more. Alright, right up front. Alright. And what's your name? What is it? Annie, Annie. So we're going to go underneath the Longfellow Bridge again. Now, this bridge is named after Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. His second most famous poem is called The Bridge. It's about walking across a bridge from Cambridge to Boston to see his girlfriend. They named the bridge after him. His most famous poem is called Paul Revere's Ride. It's the poem that made Paul Revere famous all across the United States. Before that poem, Paul Revere is a relatively unknown figure of the American Revolution. Longfellow writes the poem in 1861. It's super pop stickers. Alright, anybody else? Last chance.
Thank you for watching.
Jesus woman.